So morning, everyone. Lovely to see you on this Tuesday, the 8th of November. Sorry if the light quality isn't brilliant. We're at Zimbabwe for our doTERRA leadership event. And as I've just said, for those of you who know me, one of my favorite sayings is done is better than perfect. So here we find ourselves, not perfect, but here. And Didi and Nikki and Sally and I are very excited to welcome you to this Melissa Challenge. We're excited to embark on it ourselves. Many of you are already members of our Mindful Moment community. So we meet here every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. for half an hour of a little mindfulness session. Anyone's welcome to join. It's a free online thing, and the recordings are always on my website. So it's always a time of community and connection and just a mindful pause in our week. Many of you are members of our extended doTERRA community. You have oils, you use oils, you love oils like us, and welcome. Many are part of my Feminine Wisdom tribe. So lovely to see some of you again. Lovely to see Pascal. It's so nice to see people's faces and the names, and welcome whether you've got your cameras on and off. It's lovely just to see your names. I'm just scrolling through some of them and really welcoming you all here to the special mindful moment and the special start of a special few days for us. And so many of you have also been on our spring shed with us. First, we've been noticing and seeing our schmutz, our stuff, our shit. And then we've been deciding what we wanted to shed, and we've been shedding and consciously shedding our stuff. And now it's time for us to step into our light. And so everyone is welcome here. And those also from extended teams, I've actually just sent we have for a leadership event, I sent some of the South African founders very last minute an invitation, because I suddenly realized my alarm's going to be going off every hour during the leadership, and I may as well invite them and their teams to join us. So there are going to be a lot of people watching this recording too, and for those who are, you're welcome too. And we'll be meeting here on the same link at 7 a.m. every morning for the next till Saturday. But the recordings will always be posted to my website under Mindful Moment. We'll post all of them to the website, and then we've got a Telegram group. If you'd like to join that Telegram group and you're not on it, then please just ask for a link on whatever group you're on. And so this is the first Melissa Challenge hosted by us. I've done a few Melissa Challenges, and so have Nikki and Sally and Didi. And they've always been profoundly shifting for us. And for those who don't know, I did a little video on this and how it affected my tax return so profoundly. So if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to have a watch. But you don't, so I'm using my Melissa oil, but you don't have to have a Melissa oil. You can use any other oil, or you can even use another tool. You can use an actual lemon, or an actual orange, or lemon balm, which is Melissa, or leaves. You could use lemon balm tea, or just the leaves and just scrunch them up. So however you want to do this, and I'll explain the process more at the end of the session. But for now, if you have an oil with you, or a tea, or a lemon, or an orange, I invite you just to pause, to open the bottle or the roller, and just to really inhale deeply. And if your oil is one that's ingestible, and you can do this with the oils we've mentioned, you just rub your thumb on the roller and then put it onto your palate. Or you can put a drop into your hands and rub your hands together, inhale, and put it behind your neck and shoulders. Or if you've got an actual fruit or leaves, crush them up, or scrape the rind of the lemon or the orange and just deeply inhale. And this moment just invites us to become present in our body, present with our senses. We actually physically coming to our senses with a practice like this. So as we come to our senses. And this is a very special time in the world. I don't know if you're sensing it, but there's a lot changing, and it's reflected astrologically too. And I come from a very Christian background. We were always taught to fear astrology. But as I teach in my feminine wisdom courses, the places that we are taught to fear the most are where our true power lies. And that's in our periods, our menstrual periods, our birth, our orgasms, our menopause. That's where our true power lies. And that's where so much has been stripped from the feminine power, the feminine energy, and we've sort of really handed over our power in so many areas like this. And it's the same for the moon and the stars in astrology. They are God's incredible creation, the moon and stars, and the patterns that they move in. And we can't even start to fathom the beauty and the brilliance and the amazing patterns. And you know that our daughter came back from camp recently, and she said, "Mum, do you know, we had a talk, and do you know," she said, "I think you're going to love this." She says there used to be 13 months in the year, and there was one for 28-day months, and they were the lunar cycles, and that now sort of, I think in Roman times, they were changed to 12 months. And so 13 months of a year, that's another thing we've been taught to fear, number 13. A lot of planes and hotels don't even have row number 13 or floor number 13 or room number 13. But if you actually look it up, it is the number of the feminine. And it's actually a very lucky number. So I invite you to go and look it up. And so there used to be 13 months of the year, 28 days, and based on the lunar cycle. And how much more connected would we be to the rhythms of nature and to the rhythms of the moon and the rhythms of our 28-day cycle, which is generally 28 days, if this was the case, if we knew that every month was a new moon. On the shed, we started our shed on the full moon. And now 2 months later, we're on a full moon, so we can mark it by the moons. And we'd notice so much more about the full moon energy, such a big, bold energy. It's such a heightened energy. For those of you, I know that Silky on this call has been in the bush. When you're in nature, in the bush with a full moon, you see that huge full moon energy. You see animals walking around at night. You see the full moon, the power of the seas. It's a very heightened energy, and it's like a giant spotlight. And then the new moon energy is much more subdued. It's much more turning inwards. The animals don't roam around nearly as much as at night. Well, the nocturnal animals do, but not the day animals. So we'd be so much more in tune with ourselves and the world if we had this far more consciousness in if our months were revolved around the moon. But now we have to be taught these things. We have to be told to look at the full moon. And full moons represent an end to a cycle. They bring things to a completion. And when it's a full moon and a lunar eclipse, like it is today, and this is the last lunar eclipse, and it's just heightened, it's just amplified, things coming to completion. And they're like a giant spotlight, shining a light on what is or isn't working in our life. So we mustn't be surprised if things come up in our lives and in our relationships, in our work. This is the spotlight. This is what we're bringing to consciousness. It's bringing out of the shadow into the light. And so this is why we want to harness this energy with intention at this time and step into this very powerful, transformative time. So if you want to know more about the astrological transformation, I mean, there's so much, it's quite profound. You should watch Pam Gregory's latest little video about the full moon in Taurus. It's half an hour. It's really worth watching. I also love watching Heather Ainsworth, who's a clinical psychologist, also an astrologer, but I haven't watched her one on this full moon now. So this is a full moon in Taurus, and Taurus is all about Taurus is actually all about banking and finance and interest rates and bringing that into a spotlight, which I think we've already seen. The full moon energy and the lunar eclipse energy doesn't just happen on this day, but it's an extended thing, but it can peak in these few days. But we certainly have been seeing the banking and the financial markets in the spotlight. And so it's an incredible time of how astrologically things are. It's a time of true and deep transformation. And it's just funny that the US midterm elections were scheduled for this day. I don't know if this was consciously or unconsciously done, but as Pam Gregory said, she can't imagine it's going to go smoothly because this is a little bit of a high energy time. So I'm here because I'm in Zimbabwe. It's our Doterra leadership event. It's a time for us to gather and to celebrate. We had our founders dinner last night, and we've got a lovely leadership event with some of our international leaders out. And there are lots of other significant things happening in many of our lives. And this is a time of breaking down to break through. And Pam Gregory uses the wonderful analogy. She says, in this world at the moment, it's like we're renovating our old, dilapidated, outdated home, the home that's the pipes leak and it's a bit squeaky and the floorboards are degrading and all that sort of thing. It's outdated. And now we've got these beautiful plans and we are building our new home, this beautiful home that we've created and envisions from love. But as we do it, we have to start breaking down the old home and we start demolishing. And as we do it, it feels scary and it feels dusty. We're like, what are we doing? Actually, that old home wasn't so bad. We didn't really, there was a lot to enjoy there. Like it had its faults, but maybe this is a mistake. But we have to keep our eyes on the vision of the new home, of what we're creating. And what we created with love, and we want it to be filled with light and love and flow. And that's so often when we're creating a new home, we're wanting something more light-filled, more open, more full of flow and easy flow. And that's why we're doing this Melissa's Challenge today, now, because we're divinely supported and astrologically supported in every way. So I invite you just to pause, to breathe. You can breathe, inhale in your oil again if you want, but just to take a deep breath in and then just to sigh out, an audible, delicious sigh, like getting into a bath at the end of a day. You can just exhale. You're home, you're safe. So just doing 3 or 4 of these, and then lowering your gaze or closing your eyes and just allowing this poem to land as we follow the sounds of the gong. This is a Hopi elder speaks. You've been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. There are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other and do not look outside yourself for the leader. And then he clasped his hands together, smiled, and said, this could be a good time. There's a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are torn apart and will suffer greatly. No, the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time for the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And so I invite you to just allow your breath to settle, those words to land physically on your body, on your skin, just to be absorbed. And each breath is an invitation to our attention to land in our bodies, fully in our bodies this morning. Like a leaf that drifts down slowly and lands on the surface of a pond. So our breath invites us to allow our attention to land in our body. And just following that attention and now moving it down to your feet, your legs, your pelvis, everything that keeps you rooted and grounded, whether you're sitting on a chair or a cushion Just noticing the points of connection with the earth beneath you. Feeling the support of the cushion or the chair, how it's actively supporting and holding you in this moment. Sensing into a rootedness, a stability, a deep groundedness in the earth. Sensing that if we open ourselves to it, that we are deeply supported by the earth beneath us, just as every tree, every flower, every plant is so deeply supported and nurtured and nourished by the earth. So sensing down into the earth like our roots spreading out into the silence and strength and support of the earth. So that we don't have to hold on so hard, we're just held by the earth. And then noticing this nourishment that we glean from the earth through our deep rootedness. This interplay of giving and receiving through our roots, through our grounding. And from this deep rootedness and support and strength, allowing ourselves just to gently unfurl, reaching up your spine, your shoulders, your neck, your head, up towards the sky, towards the heavens. Feeling the energy of this full moon, this lunar eclipse, the stars, the sun, the sky, gently lifting us up out of our rootedness, out of our groundedness, up towards the heavens, up to the enlightenment of the moon and the stars and the sun. They light our skies and inviting in this enlightenment into our bodies now. Even inviting an opening through the top of our heads, through the top of our bodies, our face, just allowing the light to filter down and into our bodies. So that in this moment we are supported and we straddle between earth and heaven, holding both within us. Sensing into the strength and support of earth, of our bony skeleton, of our spine, of our ribs, of our skull. Sensing into these places, really feeling your body from this moment from the inside out. This incredible strength and support of our skeletons. Allowing us to stand strong, to stand with dignity, to tap into the nobility inside us, holding ourselves in a posture that is dignified, that is upright, that is strong. And then feeling into a softening and a softness that lies in our belly, in our heart space, in our lungs, in our fascia, in our tissue, in our blood vessels, in our face, in our tongue, our eyes, the organs of our body, the incredible power of all of these, but the softness that is within them. Knowing that in this moment, they're all performing incredible processes, actions, things beyond our imagination, beyond our understanding. And yet, all we have to do is be. All we have to do is receive and allow. This interplay between strength and receiving, softness, receiving, allowing space for both in our bodies. And then dropping your attention to your heart space. Noticing both the support of the spine and the ribs, softness of your heart and your lungs. And for the next few moments, really just feeling into this heart space, noticing if you can feel breath, if you can feel heart pulsating, blood pumping, just noticing with a curious attention what you find, what you feel here. And then breathing directly into your heart space as if there was a funnel into your heart space, funneling this air, this breath of life into your body. And perhaps it has a color, a light, a texture, perhaps it sparkles, perhaps it flows. Just pausing for a moment to really connect with this breath going directly in and out of your heart space. And inviting a sensation of gratitude to this moment, a gratitude for this body, a gratitude for the support of earth and heaven, knowingly and unknowingly every day, a gratitude for the support of our body, and for God's divine support, however that may look for you. Just connecting with a feeling of gratitude in your heart space in this moment. Profound gratitude for the rhythms of nature, the sun that rises and sets, the moon that rises and sets, the stars that shine in their brilliance. All these incredible patterns that we are so unaware of. And then allowing this sensation of gratitude, this breath, this light, however this looks for you, just to slowly permeate through your body, as if it was following the blood vessels that lead from your heart, the arteries that go from your heart and spread out, taking oxygen to every part of your body, to the tiniest capillary in your fingertips, in your toes, in your eyes, your mouth, every capillary that feeds every strand of hair on your head. So the sensation of gratitude, of light, of love, spreads through your body. So that perhaps you can even feel it tingling on the surface of your skin, or sense into the light, the color. And then sensing perhaps that we cannot contain this light, that it stretches beyond our skin, beyond our physical boundary. that it moves into the space around us like an aura or a halo. That we are filled with the same light as the stuff of stars. The same carbon that fills the stars fills our bodies. And offering a moment of gratitude for this light within us and around us. And knowing that we can offer it to the world. Perhaps holding any loved ones in need in this light space, in our heart space. Anyone who to share this light with, this moment with. And knowing that when we move through our day to day, that we can share this light and love with people, even unknowingly. The security guard, the guard at the gate, the teller, the accident that we pass, the homeless person, our friend that we have coffee with, our co-worker who seems sad. Just unconsciously or consciously being able to share this light, this love, this gratitude, this blessing with that person, those people. You have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. There are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where's your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for the leader. Then he clasped his hands together, smiled, and said, "This could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. No, the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time for the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for." Following the sounds of the gong and just allowing your eyes to open, taking the colors and textures and light around you, noticing the world with a new freshness, taking in the faces and the names on the screens, offering our love and light to those people with us, seeing who is in here in the river with us. And so as we settle, I'll tell you a little bit more about what these days hold for us all. I encourage you to set an alarm on your phone, and we'll also put something on the Telegram group. It's up to all of us. This is a co-hosted thing. So if you see that it's at 11 o'clock, you could put something on the Telegram group that reminds us. But I've set something in my phone where I've set these alarms. It takes a little bit of time today, but we're going to be using it for the next until Saturday. And so each of my alarms says expand, and I've chosen a song. Some of them, last time I did Fields of Gold. For me, that's just the musical thing. And I've got Where the Shadow Ends and I've got a few. And it says expand because our focus for today is to expand. So when that alarm goes off, you just really pause and breathe and notice where your energy is. Perhaps notice if you're in your physical presence, whether you're feeling expansive or contracted. And just pausing for that moment and then taking your oil or taking your fruit or your leaves and just rolling it, inhaling, putting it on the palate, and pausing for that moment, and then inviting this expansion that we experienced this morning, tapping into this moment of perhaps gratitude and expansion in our bodies and our physical presence, no matter what we're doing, whether we're in our leadership event and listening, or whether we are at work, whether we are driving, and just really, and if you miss that time, that's okay. We do it whenever you think of it, or do it in the next hour, whether you're doing your tax return or teaching, just to bring and invite this energy of expansion. And as I said, we're using the Melissa, which is the oil of light. It's the oil of awakening and authentic restoration. I'm just going to read this briefly for you. There are still some Melissa oils available at Emma's Place at Oil Up, which are $4.99, and Gladys is doing some deliveries today, but you can also just use whatever oil resonates with you. Most of the oils have an energetic properties, and you can look it up. There's an Essential Oils and Emotions app, and this is from the book. I'm just going to read part of it. Melissa oil awakens the soul to truth and light. It reminds individuals of who they truly are and why they came to this earth. Melissa invites one to release everything and anything and everything that holds them back from reaching their fullest potentials. Melissa assists individuals in receiving spiritual guidance by reconnecting them with their inner voice. It uplifts the soul by preparing one to ascend. When one feels too weighed down by the burdens of life, Melissa encourages them to keep going, gives strength and vitality to the innermost recesses of the heart and soul. This oil invites one to participate in higher realms of living and dreaming. As they stay connected to the spiritual sources, they feel lightness in their being and brightness in their core. Melissa reminds everyone that each individual has a spark of divinity within them, and with love and attention, that spark will grow. This oil fuels that spark of energy, igniting the individual's true self. Melissa assists them in shedding everything that is not in harmony with their inner light. Melissa's enthusiasm is contagious. Through the intense light and vibration this oil has to offer, individuals may feel they cannot help but let go of feelings of darkness, despair, and other low vibrations that are holding them down. It teaches the art, the joy of living. So, but all the oils have incredible properties, and this Melissa is lemon balm. So if you use lemon balm, it has that peppermint. I forget what peppermint is, but it's amazing too. And I think if you don't have Melissa now, we'll be doing this again another time. And I know that there is Melissa coming, just too late for our challenge now. So you can wait and see. Melissa is coming in the next month or two. But yeah, as I said, all oils and flowers and fruit have emotional qualities. It's incredible. There's a book called The Language of Flowers, which really explores that. It's a beautiful book. And so start with what you have, and we will each be doing this and know that we're connected to each other through the day. You're welcome to comment on Telegram group or be as active or not as you want to be. There is a Telegram group for those who are not on it, and if you'd like to, but there's so we're going to start every morning at 7 in the morning. The others, we'll each lead a session. The other sessions will be shorter. This was the longest session, and we will always then post the recording as soon as we can, both to the Telegram group and to my website under Mindful Moments. So I wish you a day filled with light. We will meet our shadows because that's what the full moon does. It will show us our stuff. And I encourage you to, when we see our stuff, when we see the stuff that's hard, that's dark, our shadow within us, and in our relationships and our work, that we can pause and breathe into it and invite this energy of expansion and transformation. I wish you a beautiful and blessed day. Namaste. You're welcome to unmute or write in the comments. It's lovely having you. Thank you for joining.
Question, Nikki.
Yes, with pleasure.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I got on a bit late, but I got the gist. Can we use the Melissa Touch to put on our palette?
Yes, definitely. It's a great one to put on your palette. And the black pepper is the similar chemical constituents. You can put that on your palette too, or drop under your tongue. But yeah, Melissa, you definitely can put on your palette. So inhaling like that.
But the touch one, I don't have the plain oil.
Oh, you mean the oil? The touch is the roller. The actual
roller.
oil.
Sorry.
Yeah, the roller. You just roll it onto your thumb and then put it onto your palate. It's a strong oil. You'll sense it immediately.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. And if you've got the actual bottle of Melissa, you can just tip it over, or any bottle, you can just tip it over like that and put it onto your palate, the internal ones. Thank you for the lovely messages. Yeah, but Braca Goldsmith, astrologer videos too. Yes, I haven't gone into hers, but I've heard that she's amazing. Oh, thanks, Hilda. I'll send you love and light, and the light outside and light inside. Sorry, you can't see me very well, but it is what it is. And it's Heather's is really profound. I just haven't had a chance to. Oh, good. I'm going to watch that. Thank you, Juliet. Love. It's Heather Ensworth. So I'll put this in the comments under my video when I post it on my website. Just some of the names of these astrologers, and they are beautiful women of light. I really I love listening to them. They've given me such courage, such insight. Well, that's why I closed the door, because there are a few monkeys. One came and sat here just before, and I just thought I could do without having to deal with the monkey in the mind for a moment. Yes, love to you, Mum in Bathurst. Enjoy the beautiful gardens there. Okay, I'm going to end it now. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thank you, everyone. Oh, thanks, Barbara. Lovely to have you here.